Hey, thanks for joining me today. I'm Ryan Backmann, founder and executive director of Project Cold Case. Wanted to give everybody an update on our annual Year of Hope, which was our annual fundraiser that we hosted Saturday evening, Saturday afternoon. This was our fifth annual Year of Hope. We were really proud to stand up and acknowledge what this organization has accomplished in 5 years and what we hope to accomplish still moving forward. For today's video, we're going to replay what we actually aired live during our event, but we did a Facebook Live of the state of the organization, which gave a history of how we started, why we started, and what we've accomplished in the last 5 years, and then hit on things that we're going to take on moving forward. So you'll see some images from the event. You'll see some images of some of the auction items. You'll see the actual video that we provided. We want to again thank everybody that contributed, donated, supported, attended, participated. Without that support, Project Cold Case wouldn't be here. We are lucky enough to have some really great businesses that supported us this year and have supported us leading up to this, including Hardage Giddens, Innovative Forensic DNA this year was a big sponsor, Antique and Modern, Clear Tax Resolution, our friends over at Social Grounds Coffee Company, and Hard Knot Designs that continue to help us out. Pebblebrook Hotel Trust, Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, Mambo's Cuban Cafe, Hobie's Honey and General Store, TPC Sawgrass, White Oak Conservation Center. Our interns hooked us up, one with Blue Sky Golf Club auction items, Total Wine and More, Paint Bright, Carve Vodka, local craft vodka, the Jaguars, of course, the Van Zant family provided us with another album, this one a double platinum album that we auctioned off that was presented to Ronnie Van Zant. The Jacksonville Zoo, the Courtyard Marriott at Jack's Beach, the Jacksonville Symphony, the St. Augustine Alligator Farm, Paragon, McBride Lucius, Roy's Restaurant, Brews, Health Pro Medical provided a Botox auction. So we had a lot of great businesses that sponsor us. Of course, our partnership with the Finker Frankel Family Foundation. They came out to show their support and to get a peek into, what we've accomplished over the last 5 years. I have to thank EFS Catering for the amazing food. For those of you that missed out on it, we'll order more next year for sure. I apologize. I heard the meatballs were amazing, and people were scraping the bottom of the tray to get the meatball juice and put it on other food. So obviously the food was good. We went through it faster than we thought. We had more people than we thought. But the catering was great. Zoe at Hardage Giddens, that was our point of contact and helped make sure everything ran smoothly, did an amazing job. Of course, DJ7, our own resident DJ, Steve Brown, always does a great job, keeps it entertaining and light. And he had to fill in for Senator Bean, who wasn't able to attend this year. And Steve Brown had to do the auction, the live auction, and it was entertaining to say the least. We had some volunteers that helped set up, helped get things going. V. Wilson was one of them, an old colleague. But our UNF interns, Brielle, Morning, and Maddie all did an amazing job getting things going and ready and set up and assisting throughout the event. Our staff here, Clint and Frida, did an amazing job. It was great to have their support and their help and really having an event go off pretty well without a hitch. I mean, you can't have an event without something going wrong. I think we mitigated most of that and put on a really good event and presentation, something I'm proud of, something I hope they're proud of because they did a great job. And somebody I missed acknowledging at the event, and I feel horrible about it, my wife Valerie, and all the support that she has provided to me personally, to this organization, above and beyond just helping us set up all the auction items in a visually appealing way. So I failed to mention her during my presentation, and that makes me a pretty bad husband, but I'll make it right by apologizing here and mentioning her. Without her support, there obviously wouldn't be any Project Cold Case. Few things I just want to hit on before we get to the video of the state of the organization. I'm not going to rehash everything that's in the video because you'll see it there, but some things that were going on while I was presenting that we've had a chance to reflect on and look on and see the positive side of. This was the largest attendance we've ever had at a Year of Hope event. So at our 5th Year of Hope, we had over 160 attendees. We have confirmed 160, and it was impossible to get a chance to talk to everybody and see everybody, and so we've been adding to that list as we think of people. But we know that we had 160 people, and we believe at any given point there may have been as many as 200 guests at the event. So that was something, a sight to behold, and that's also the reason why the food ran out, because we were expecting between 120 and maybe a little bit more than that. So very proud of the number of people that attended. Also excited and proud of the number of survivors that were in attendance, that were comfortable coming out, participating in the Upload for Justice campaign, that were seated front and center, that were a part of this organization and the reason we exist. And just to name some of the ones that I thought of right off the top of my head, the victims: Jack Robinson, Bob Levy, Pat McMinn, Terrell Orcutt, who actually was, I think, 30 years ago. I think her body was found 30 years ago today. And so her sister was there in attendance with us. Anthony Ray's family, Freddie Ferris' family, Missy Taylor Ellison's family, Maddie Clifton's mom, who it was not an unsolved case, but it's one of the more highly publicized cases in Jacksonville, and one that Maddie's mom, Sheila, has been a big part of our organization and a big part of my journey through grieving, and so it was great to see her there. James Harms, Haley Smith, Nancy Joe Canode, my dad, Cliff Backmann. There were people representing him besides just me and my wife. B.J. Brooks, Daryl Austin, and others. And, when you start going through that list, right off the top, Freddie Fair and Haley Smith, both those cases have been solved. So that provided hope, and it's great for the families that still have unsolved cases to be able to talk to families that had solved cases that had been cold at one point. So really excited about that. The other thing that was really neat was the number of people from law enforcement that were connected with law enforcement. We had representatives from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, Clay County Sheriff's Office, Alachua County Sheriff's Office, including Alachua County Sheriff Sadie Darnell drove all the way up from Gainesville to be a part of our event. Seminole County Sheriff's Office, Orlando Police Department, Seminole Police Department, which serves the Seminole Tribe of Florida. We had State Attorney's Office, 4th Judicial Circuit represented. We had retired FBI, retired NCIS, retired DEA, all in attendance, and an FDLE DNA analyst. So we crossed the spectrum on law enforcement, whether it was sheriffs, police departments, feds, forensics. I mean, we had a great representation of people committed to cold cases in this state and beyond. Another thing I just want to point out is our partnership with UNF. We know it's been growing, but we really were recognized and realized it Saturday. We had 3 current professors that were in attendance, 2 criminal justice and 1 journalism professor. We speak to their classes. We utilized the criminal justice students as interns. We utilized the journalism students to help with our spotlights. It was really, really neat to see that partnership, how it's grown, and hopefully how it will continue to grow. So we were really excited about the connection with UNF. 2 of our 3 interns from UNF were volunteering at the event. And we had more than a handful of other UNF students, some that participated in a cold case internship with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and some that were just supporters coming out to see what we did. So that was really great. Kind of also of note, somebody that overlaps both of those worlds was Mayor of Atlantic Beach, Ellen Glasser, came out and supported us. Not the first time, but definitely had a great time with her. She's retired FBI, and she is a former UNF professor of criminal justice. So she overlapped those. So she had 2 of her former colleagues there that were current professors as well. But it was great to see her. And basically on that note, we had 160 people that cared about cold cases enough to take out a few hours of their day on a Saturday and come out and listen to us speak, meet families, meet supporters, meet law enforcement, and participate in the Upload for Justice campaign. And so that's something that we're really proud of, really excited about, and really thankful for all of them. So we're going to play the video for you, the state of the organization, where you get a glimpse into how we started, why we started, and what it's taken to get to this point. If anybody, was not able to attend, wanted to contribute, you can still go to projectcoldcase.org/Year of Hope, and there's a donation button there. With that said, I can't thank all of you enough for all of your support. The biggest way we're able to help is through social media. It's through people liking, sharing, and commenting on our posts, and doing 2 of those 3 in some kind of random order, as that's what really gets our information out there and spread across to as many people as possible. So thank you all for your support. I hope you appreciate and enjoy the State of the Organization address as it comes up. At the end of that, we will scroll through the remembrances for this week, and we will see you next week. Thanks a lot for your support.
Don't know, this is May. May is really, quite honestly, the inspiration for Project Cold Case. So this is my daughter. She turned 5 in September. And not coincidentally, 5 years ago, we decided to start Project Cold Case. So for those of you that don't know me, I guess I should have introduced myself. I'm Ryan Backmann, the founder and executive director of Project Cold Case. And again, 5 years ago, we incorporated January 20th, 2015. And I started assembling a group of individuals that I knew were passionate about helping victims in our community. And so we organized with a board and myself, and now the board of directors, if you could stand up and let me acknowledge you and thank you for all your hard work over these last 5 years. Thank you. Aside from the board of directors is our staff, which is Frida Washington Perez and Cliff Dickinson. And we have a team intern now, if you'll see. I couldn't get pictures of them all, but we have partnered with University of North Florida and have 3 amazing interns, 2 of which are here today, Maureen and Maddie, and they're wandering around here somewhere. But without that group, there's Maddie over in the corner. And yeah, without this group, we would not have been able to put this event together, so thank you to them. I'm going to give you, I know there's a lot of you in this room that have heard the story so many times you could tell it. So I apologize for that. But I'm going to tell the background for the people that don't know, how Project Cold Case started and why we're here. October 10th, 2009, my wife and I were at home getting ready to go to a friend's house and watch a football game. And I got out of the shower and I had 2 missed calls from blocked numbers and a voicemail. And when I checked the voicemail, it said, "This is Detective so-and-so with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. There's been an emergency and we need you to call us right away." I returned that call. They said they were on their way to my house and would be there in a matter of minutes. I asked if everything was okay, and they said no, but we'll tell you what's going on when we get there. So I hung up the phone, I turned to my wife, and I said, something bad has happened, and the police are on their way. But in my world, in my mind, I didn't think anything more than a car accident and maybe some broken ribs, something like that with a family member. I went out the front door to meet the detectives. Unmarked car pulled up, 2 plainclothes detectives got out. They introduced themselves and said, "We're sorry to tell you this, your father was murdered earlier today." So obviously there's no way to prepare for something like that. My wife and I were 3 days away from celebrating our 2nd wedding anniversary. We had grand plans of starting a family and this wonderful life together, and something got in the way. It changed for me immediately, and I switched careers. I went from a project manager at an architectural firm to a victim advocate. As many of you here will remember the organization Compassion Families and know that they came and helped me when I was in need. And so I went to work for them and started as a volunteer, and then went on to become a victim advocate. Some of my old co-workers are here, Miss Jones, V. They were there for me when I needed it, and then taught me how to be there for other people and help them. And that became my passion and what I knew I was on this earth for. So I did that for about 4 years, 4.5 years. And I really started to recognize a need for an organization that focused on specific unsolved cases. And there was nothing like that here in Jacksonville and Florida, and not a lot of organizations like that in the country. So at the time, my wife was pregnant with Meg, and I had this grand idea that I would be a stay-at-home dad and start this organization, and because my wife didn't really want to put our kid in daycare, our first child in daycare right away. So I thought this would be easy. I'll just stay home every day and I'll start this organization, right? So I wouldn't trade that year and a half for anything in the world. Obviously, my daughter and I have a very special bond, and those moments with her are something very, very special to me. So 5 years ago, you see that picture on the left, that's my first week of work at Project Cold Case. In my home with May in my lap. So that's where it all started. Obviously, I did not get a lot of work done with her in my lap. So I worked when she napped and when she slept, and on weekends, when anytime Valerie was around to help, that's when I worked. And so you'll see this is kind of the progression of our existence from my home office to JA Architecture. When John Ullman is here, he offered me an office in his building where he was running his company and said, "Hey, come on out and you can take this room upstairs." And I went there probably 3 times in 6 months. I was like, that's a far drive from the beach to Riverside. We moved to the Bank of America building a little bit after that, and we worked, and many of you know Patty Lord, who couldn't be here today, but she was one of the original board members, our first employee beside myself. And Patty and I worked in a closet, interior closet in the Bank of America building with no windows, very little circulation, and 2 of the loudest attorneys you've ever heard right outside our door. So that didn't work out, and then our home is the downtown Duval building. Adam Schaefer's here, it's his building, right at the corner of Noonan and Independent, right in downtown. We love it there. We're at home there. We hope to be there until we can afford our own building, I'll be honest. And one day that is an ultimate goal. But that's where we want to be. We now have a staff that works in there every single day. And here's a little breakdown of that growth again in terms of funding. In 2015, we had a $1,000 budget. May and I split that $19 a week salary. We used that money to pay all the fees associated with incorporating and becoming a nonprofit, but it was just May and I. Then in 2016, May left and got a better job. She started going to daycare, and we started growing and expanding. 2017, we added Patty Lord as a part-time employee. She worked with us for up until this past year. 2018, we brought in Clint Richardson. He worked with Patty and I. And then this year, in 2019, we brought on Frida, and we've expanded to the 3 full-time employees. We have 3 interns from the University of North Florida Criminal Justice Program. They come in every single day of the week to have an intern in our office helping us out. It's been an amazing advance for us having that extra labor. Again, that's why you're here, and there's food and auction items and all of that is because of their help. I'm really, really excited and proud of the things that we've accomplished in 5 years. And I'm not going to go through all the pictures, but we published a book, and some of the survivors that are in that book are here today. We did billboards throughout Jacksonville. We've had amazing relationships that we've built with sheriff's offices, local and beyond. And so, like some of the pictures, if I stop hitting that button, you'll see is like with Sheriff Sadie Darnell from Alachua County, Melissa Nelson and Tim Quick. I saw Tim around here somewhere from the state attorney's office. Some of our events with survivors, some of the events that I've just been asked to be a part of. There's the Memorial for Missing Adults that we had nothing to do with, but we just supported and were a part of. The DNA opt-in campaign that's being run by DNA Labs International down in South Florida, Deerfield Beach. They used the photographs of our families in their opt-in campaign, encouraging people that participate in these home DNA kits to opt in, to upload their cases so that these cases can be solved. Yeah, buddy, I'm getting to you. Did you say hello? That's just some of the things that we've done. I'm happy to talk about them to anybody and everybody that will listen, but I know that we're limited on time here. You guys want to start bidding up these auction items. So some of the things we've accomplished too is we've done over 150 written spotlights since we got into existence. And my goal originally was to do 1 a week, and when we only had a dozen, 20 cases, that was pretty easy. And as the cases started piling in, I'm not a journalist, and I'm not very good at writing those spotlights. So we kind of waned a little bit, and we weren't providing those as often as I wanted. So we partnered with UNF again, and we did with their journalism class, and now we go to them and present Project Cold Case every semester, and we give them, however many students are in their class, 19 or 20, we give them each a case. And they interview the family, and they try to interview law enforcement and anybody else that will talk to them, and create real spotlights that are more in line with what we want to provide for these families and the people that are reading. Our business model, our organization is constantly evolving, and so now we have a new spotlight page. When we look on our website, when we look at our spotlights, we have the write-up that's usually done by the UNF students, and then we have images that we've collected from the families. We have news stories, videos that have been provided in an attempt to create a virtual case file for every victim that we touch, so that those families can share that page anytime they want. We can add to it, and it becomes just a one-stop place for their loved ones' information. And if they're doing an interview with somebody, or they want to share with somebody new they met, they can send them the link. Again, That was a big partnership with UNF. You'll also see on there Douglas Anderson School of the Arts. We had this really good idea a couple of years ago. One of the students did a little documentary for his class project on Project Cold Case. So we reached out and said, if we gave you a family, would your class be willing to do a documentary on them? And they assigned it to a student, and that student's been working on that now for a little over a month or two, and we're close to having that done. We hope we'll be able to share it with you today. But it's actually that case you see there, Leslie McCrae. And before we got in touch with Leslie's family, before Leslie's family got in touch with us, it was what we kind of coined in our office as internet silence. You could not Google her name and find anything that had happened to her. Her murder happened before the internet was a thing, before media was archiving these stories on the internet. So there was nothing out there. And the family felt like they were pretty well forgotten. Leslie was forgotten, and nobody cared. We did a story with Lorena Inclan, Action News. We got that story out there. We've also done this with Missy Ellison, whose family is over here. We've got a story that was little. There was nothing available. These families online. Now, when you Google their name, people can find out. If somebody has information on a case that used to not show up anywhere, now it'll show up. That's something that we're really proud of, that we're able to archive these stories forever for these families so that they know that their loved one's not forgotten, so that they know there's people out there that care. And that's a very important part of what we do. What's that?
It's a little slow.
Okay. So we've partnered with local news stations. You've seen them, I hope. Project Cold Case with Action News Jacks, Unsolved with First Coast News. Rumor is that Channel 4 is interested in starting a program as well. So we're looking forward to getting these stories out as many places, as many opportunities as possible so that someone out there with information can come forward. I know you can't see those. That was the point. Each one of those is a picture of a person that was murdered, whose family has submitted a case to us, whose family has thought that no one cares, whose family is worried that their loved one was forgotten, and was okay just knowing if all we could do is put their picture on the internet, they were okay with that. Because that was more than anybody else had ever done. So that's the service that we started providing. And you see the banners here. We have another one at the office. How far are we along in the next one, Clint?
About halfway.
About halfway through another banner. So that's why we do what we do. Our cold case database, I hope you've heard about it. We've been working on this from the beginning. You'll see that image with the construction sign is just that. Our first website said under construction. We don't have a database. The one to the right, 23,000 cases in our database now, unsolved murders from all across the country. Thank you. The most comprehensive database in the world. There's no one else that has 23,000 unsolved murders in one place that you can search at one time. So we're very, we wish there wasn't that many. That's only about 10% of the total number of unsolved murders in this country. It's less than 10%. But our goal is to keep growing that, and we'll continue to do that with the support of the community and the individuals like you in this room. This is the question everybody wants to know. How many cases have you solved? The answer is 0. We don't solve these cases. We're not investigators. We leave that to the professionals. But 18 cases we've had featured on our website have been solved. One of those is so fresh we haven't put the solved stamp on it yet. 18 cases, families that have come to us and sought our assistance wanted to help raise awareness for their loved one's case, wanted peer support, somebody to be able to talk to. Because this isn't really what we do, we're not investigating these cases, that's always the question we get asked. We've been saying 11 for a year because we just haven't really been keeping up with it. When we were putting this presentation together, I called Frida in the office and I was like, do you know we have 18 cases on our website that have been solved? And the importance of that is the hope that it offers the other families that haven't been solved yet. So even though we always give credit to law enforcement for doing their job and solving those cases, we do recognize how valuable that is when somebody's looking at our organization to see the impact that we have. Every Tuesday at noon, between noon and 1, we have a Facebook Live that we do where we try to educate the community, where we try to raise awareness for a case. Jay Howell, if any of you in here know, Jay Howell's been a private attorney for a long time in Jacksonville, was the original executive director of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, has been at the forefront of victims' rights movements, and we're very lucky to have him as a friend and in our own community. He's come and talked to us on Facebook Live. Melissa Nelson, our state attorney, has come and sat with us and answered questions. We always have Lorena, she's on once a month. She comes into our office and sits down and we review, we go back over a case that she's already featured on her news station. And if it hasn't led to arrest, then we're going to keep sharing those stories every so often to get them back out there. One of the things that this has led to is a lot of speaking opportunities. I'm proud that people care enough about Project Cold Case and our story to be able to share it. So we have presented the numerous civic organizations in Jacksonville. We're always spoken at more Rotary clubs than I can count. And we enjoy that because you never know who you're going to talk to. Literally, at one Rotary meeting, I had a gentleman come up to me and say, I'm 71 years old. I was 31 when my dad was murdered, which is how old I was when my dad was murdered. He said, it happened in Jacksonville. It's unsolved. And for the first time in my life, I looked and I thought, I could be looking into the future. I could be 71 years old. My dad died when I was 31, was killed, and I didn't get answers. At another Rotary club, I gave my presentation, and a Rotarian came up to me and said, your dad worked for me. It wasn't where he was killed. He had picked up a side job on a Saturday, but his Monday through Friday job, that's who my dad worked for. I've had gentlemen come up to me and say, oh, hey, yeah, I knew your dad. I worked at the building behind where it happened. We had another woman in the newcomers of the First Coast when I presented there. She came up, her dad had been murdered in 1971 in Lake City, unsolved, never saw a page on the internet. We got a story done on that case. We're able to get her, at least the investigators looking at it again, and people talking about it again. The 2017, y'all can tell me to land the plane if you're not interested, but some of this stuff is very interesting, so hang with me. I appreciate your attention and that you care. In 2017, I presented at a cold case conference in St. Pete Beach. I started relationships there with people that I have remained friends with and really bonded with, and that happens to be the conference that started the ball rolling in the resolution to the Samuel Little serial killer. So if you don't remember, he's the guy that murdered over 92 women, has confessed to it across the country over like a 40-year span, and nobody really realized that he was a serial killer. And at that conference, we had a Texas Ranger present on interrogation and interview techniques. And somebody pulled him to the side and said, there's a guy in California, he's been convicted of 2 murders. I think he's a serial killer. I think I've got one of his cases. He won't talk to the police. He wouldn't talk to the police because the media called him a rapist. And he swore he was not a rapist. He was a murderer, but he was not a rapist. And they got that wrong, and he was holding it against law enforcement. So, long story short, the Texas Ranger, they find a case in Texas
They bring him to Texas, the ranger interviews him, and they build a rapport, and he starts confessing, and now they've confirmed 64, 65 of his confessions, and they believe he's telling the truth about the others, but a lot of the individuals, the victims, were transient, didn't have a lot of family. That was kind of his MO, find somebody that nobody will miss. That's what he said. And no, this is not the raper. This is the murderer. He went all across the country from Florida. Long story short, he didn't commit the crime of the investigator that was at our conference that was convinced that he was a serial killer, but it opened up this whole door. So that was at that conference. Those are the kinds of things that happen when we get to go present, the people that we get to meet, and the results. We just had our Sahia conference in Norfolk this past November, and a similar story with a serial killer that was bouncing between Norfolk, Virginia, and Michigan was solved at the conference. They started meeting. So I presented to the National Organization for Victim Assistance twice and been invited to present again this year in Orlando. This year, Project Cold Case is our subject matter experts for the RTI International, which does the technical assistance and training for the Sexual Assault Kit Initiative. They're starting to move that stuff in to cold case homicides as well. So we're the subject matter experts for that as well. Ashley Moody, the Attorney General, invited me out to present and speak at her Victims' Rights Week's award ceremony last year. Orlando invited me down to do their National Day of Remembrance presentation for homicide victims last year. Again, those are some of the opportunities we have that we're able to network, that we're able to provide these families the services that we are, because we're making these connections all over the country. I'm a commissioner for the Florida Sheriff's Association Cold Case Advisory Commission. We've worked really closely with the Florida Sheriff's Association and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to get their cold case database up to a respectable standard. And I'm super excited, to be a part of that as well. That's just a little bit of a glimpse into, what we've been able to accomplish in 5 years. Moving forward, our goal is partnerships, to nurture those, continue those, and grow those. We've talked a little bit about innovative forensic DNA. I'm going to have them come up and talk to you in a few minutes. SAHIA, the Southeastern Homicide Investigators Association, having law enforcement at the table with us, with families, with supporters, is important. I told you about RTI. DNA Labs International drove up today from Deerfield Beach. They're here. We have a great partnership with them. These private labs see the value in what we are doing, and they're coming to us and offering us, hey, if you've got a family that needs DNA testing, if you've got a family that needs genealogy work, if you need any of this stuff, you call on us and we will help you. So that gives us, ammo to go to law enforcement and say, hey, look, I know that you're strapped with funding. I know that you're strapped with resources and time. This is what we can offer you. It makes for a great partnership. UNF, I've talked about. Hardage Giddens and Oaklawn, Jody Brandenburg, and Tom Harris have opened their hearts to us the last 2 years and been a phenomenal partner in what we're trying to do. They support us, they back us. Anything we need, they are always ready to show their support, and we're forever grateful for that and thankful for that. Jody, Tom, thank you. This is their venue. Without them, we wouldn't do this. You sure?
It's wonderful to see this level of support for what you're doing, all right? I mean, it's really fabulous. This room full of people, what you're doing is important work, and this is a testament to it. So,
well, thank you.
Keep up the good work.
We'll talk about expanding the parking lot.
We're going to have to pave over some of that grass.
This year we partnered with another family foundation, the Finker Frankel Family Foundation, and they have given us an opportunity to do so much more and reach so many more people. They're here today showing their support. When we do this job, it's not thankless
Our families, they love us for everything we do. And they shower us with praise and support and thanks all the time. So it's not a thankless job, but it can be a frustrating job to get things accomplished without knowing the right people and having the right support in your corner. We have found that with the Finker Frankel family, and we thank you, Lonia, for your support, everything you have done for us. Thank you. I made this slide before you got here, Lonia, so you're going to have to get a little bit of credit. But one of the things the family came to us and said was, we want to provide a reward for any cold case. We will give, through Project Cold Case, Project Cold Case can now offer a $10,000 reward to any cold case. Every family in here who has a loved one with no case can now advertise that there's a $10,000 reward. Now it's going to be first come, first serve, so start sharing that on social media. Get that word out there, call the news, and know that any of our cases, the next one of our cases that is solved, is going to include a $10,000 reward. And that is with our partnership with the Finker Frankel Family Foundation. So, if you were here last year, you know we launched a scholarship fund with this man, DJ7, Steve Brown, my good friend. And it was his idea. He came to me and he said, I want to give a scholarship. And I want somebody to kind of meet me in the middle so we can do not sizable. I mean, he was a social worker and a DJ, and I'm running a nonprofit, so sizable for us. And I said, well, I'll go in with you on that. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to announce that at our event and see if we can raise that money a little bit higher and maybe help a few more people. So we gave away a $1,000 scholarship last year and two $500 scholarships last year. And we're going to continue to do that. We've already got some money in the bank moving forward this year. We already can match those 3 scholarships moving forward. And our goal is to either increase those a little bit, help those students out a little bit more, or add another student. We're very interested in giving back to the community. Our partnerships, obviously, with like the University of North Florida. We want these students to have every opportunity to get an education and come out and remember to give back and help other people. We have a product line. You can buy a box, just like the one you see in the corner, with coffee. That is Justice Blend Coffee. That's Social Grounds Coffee Company in Springfield teamed up with us and created that blend just for us. So we have bags of that available at our office. We have apple butter and strawberry rhubarb jam with our branding on it, courtesy of Hoagie's Honey and General Store in Mandarin. And then we have these wooden coasters that you see there. So those boxes are available for purchase. We got about 20 of them out at the front table for anybody that would like those. And then we will have jellies, jams, and coffee also available at our office anytime. Ways, we're getting close to the end, if you can't tell. These are the ways that people can support us that maybe don't have the deep pockets that you want. Most people want to be able to give financially, and sometimes that's not really an option. So we reach people through social media. We reach over 100,000 people a month on our Facebook page alone. So we're reaching over 1 million people a year just on our Facebook page. It's not including our website, it's not including our TV spots, it's not including Twitter and Instagram or anything like that. So liking our Facebook page, and as Clint likes to remind me, the triangle: share, comment, what's that? Like. 2 of those 3. That's why I remember 2 of them. 2 of those 3 is how Facebook and their crazy algorithms work, so that we can reach more people. We have an account on Smile Amazon. So if you shop on Amazon, if you use Smile Amazon, you can select Project Cold Case as your charity, and 0.5% of all of those purchases go to Project Cold Case. It doesn't sound like much, but every quarter we get a check for like $34. Which means that our group of supporters have spent $34,000 on Amazon in that quarter. So it's not much, but we got a lot of shoppers that are our supporters. Obviously, refer friends and family. Anybody that has experienced this kind of thing, please send them to us. Let us help them. That's what we're there for. We use the Give and Go program with the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you're going to buy those tickets, I know that's a big if moving forward. If you're going to buy those tickets, you can go through our website and we get a portion of it. In fact, this past year we got $30 out of every $40 ticket that was sold. So through our website. So and thanks to Latricia Henderson, one of our board members, who's should be full-time job, but I don't think they pay enough, is selling Jaguar tickets, and she sold enough for us to really allow us to make a few $1,000s this year. So thank you, really appreciate it. Facebook fundraisers are really probably the largest donation that we get each year. And we don't have to do anything, and you don't have to do anything. You've seen them. For my birthday this year, I have selected Project Cold Case as my charity. Please, make a donation. And at last check, we had raised about $7,000 last year at Facebook donations. Those are just a few of the things that we ask families if they want to help, that they can do to help. Obviously, we have a lot of auction items up here. Please bid away. You don't have to win something to donate. You can write a check. We have a donation box out there. But your support financially allows us to keep growing and expanding and help more people. So we're very, very thankful of that. I'm going to end with getting a little personal. So October was the 10th anniversary of my dad's murder. It was a lot harder this year than it had been. And that's saying a lot because it's hard, and it's hard every year. But there was something about the 10th anniversary, and there were a number of things that were happening outside of that made it even harder. And I did something without anybody knowing. My dad spent the last 7 minutes of his life on the phone with a 911 operator. He was trying to describe the man that killed him, trying to give information about who had done it. But more than that, he was asking for help. And after 10 years, I never wanted to listen to that tape. I never wanted the last time I heard my dad's voice to be the moment that he died. But I was starting to forget what he sounded like. I was starting to forget his voice. So I listened to it. And I thought, I just want to hear him say something at the beginning. I just want to hear him say, I'm Cliff Backmann. I just want to hear something. And when he came on, it didn't sound like him. He had just been shot. So I thought, well, I'm going to listen a little bit longer. And so I did. And I kept waiting for it to sound like how I thought I remembered his voice. And next thing I knew, I was halfway through this 7-minute recorded phone call. And he just wasn't saying a whole lot. He was dying. The last words he said were, "Please help me." And then he never says anything else on the tape. And I thought about it, and I realized I didn't start Project Cold Case to help him. I started Project Cold Case to help me, because I was struggling, and I was suffering, and I didn't know who to turn to, and there was nobody out there that seemed to understand what I was going through. I found compassionate families, and I got a little bit of that. I got people that knew, that cared, that were supportive, but that organization is no longer in existence. So I started Project Cold Case because I wanted to be that for the families, and I wanted that, what I needed, what I knew they needed. This 10 years was really, really hard, this anniversary. And I am so proud of what we have done to be able to help other families and myself, because that really is what I need. And I thank all of you, because you just being here shows that support that I needed, that I actually have, that not everybody does. And so you being here means more than you will ever know to me, to the families that are here that have lost somebody, to their friends. So I thank you for that. I don't like to end it on a downer like that, but this morning when I was getting ready, I thought I need to share this, and I need people to truly understand what this organization is, why it was founded, and why 5 years is a major accomplishment for us. The story I just told you is not unique. I'm not the only person that this has happened to. There's a lot of those stories, and a lot of them are in this building right now. And what they need is they need help and support. And so that's what we're here for. I thank every one of you. If I'm going to have a couple people come up and talk about the Upload for Justice campaign, and we'll do that really quickly. And then, so if you haven't eaten in 30 minutes, you can go take your test. And again, believe this is all voluntary. If you don't want to participate in the Upload for Justice, we're just super excited to have you here. We want to explain a little bit about genetic genealogy and why it's important for law enforcement to have access to those. And so we're going to do that now. So I'm going to ask the SAHIA board members, Jen Spears, Teresa Sprague, and Mark DeBona to come up. And I'm going to ask Katie from Innovative Forensic if she will come up. And you've heard me talk enough now, so you know why it's important to families. I'll chime in, but I want to let, particularly, I want Jen Spears to tell you a quick little story about how important this technology is.
Hi, I'm Jen Spears, President of Southwestern Homicide Investigator Association, or SAHIA. So yes, I'm a homicide detective, as well as Teresa here in the Central Florida area. Like Ryan said, just to explain the importance of DNA and using the genealogy in these cases is I was actually able to use it to resolve a 1984 case last year that I had been working for 11 years and had developed quite a relationship with the family, the sibling of my victim. She had 7 siblings, and I had developed quite a relationship with several of them over the years. And we had exhausted all leads and done everything we could until the genetic genealogy became an option, and used that and was able to make an arrest on that. He's currently sitting in our jail waiting on trial. He was actually arrested here in the city of Jacksonville. So the reason I share that with you is you just don't know your neighbors, or you know the people that work at the store that you go to, or that clean your teeth at the dentist's office, the doctor's office. Any member of your community could end up being a murderer. And so because of genetic genealogy, we were actually able to resolve one case. So I have seen it firsthand. So it is important to me, and that's why when Ryan and Jennifer from Innovative Forensic asked about us joining together for this campaign, absolutely. This is important, and anything to help family members out for the victims is what we're here to do.
Thank you. It's pretty amazing. You know, she jumped on this technology, resolved this case, and called me and said, I'm coming to Jacksonville to arrest somebody. And I said, you better get to the city and get this guy out of here. I don't want him in my city anymore. And so we think about our families, you know, when we're doing this. Like, we don't want we're trying to solve our family's cases. We sometimes forget that those bad guys, they may be from somewhere else, but they're still in our city. They're able to harm our citizens, our friends, and our family. So this is a unique opportunity to try to resolve cases that maybe aren't ours, but they're somebody's, and that person may be living in our neighborhood. Katie?
Thank you. My name is Katie, and I am with Innovative Forensic DNA. I am a client and media relations spokesperson, but I'm also a victim advocate. And we're just so grateful for the opportunity to be here today to co-sponsor the Project Cold Case fundraiser event. But we're also really proud to partner with both Zahia and Project Cold Case in the Upload for Justice campaign. This campaign is a year-long collaborative initiative that's designed to encourage law enforcement, to encourage victims' families, to encourage advocates, to encourage all of you to test and to upload your DNA to Family Tree DNA and GEDmatch, both of which are databases that law enforcement have access to for use in cold case investigations. We do have 100 kits with us today, and we will be in the back, and we'll also have some of our team who are available to ask questions, to answer your questions. If you have any concerns about confidentiality, about privacy, we want to make sure that you understand that testing is your choice and that uploading your DNA is also your choice. I will be testing today, so I'm really excited about that. I see the good that has come from being able to share with those databases for the use in cold case investigation. I also just want to tell you a little bit about our company. Our goal as an investigative genealogy company is to work collaboratively with law enforcement. We want to make sure that we are available to law enforcement through the life cycle of the case. So from the minute that that case is brought to our attention till its conclusion, no matter how long that might take. And so we just, really want to emphasize that collaboration, the cultivation and fostering of collaborative relationships and partnerships is what's going to make this a success. And we just want to say thank you for allowing us to be here, and thank you to all of you for supporting Project Cold Case and the Upload for Justice campaign.
Thank you all. That's it. We're going to log in. You guys can enjoy the rest of the day. Bill on auction items. The Upload for Justice campaign is all the way back down the hall to the right in that room, private room. You can go in there and ask any questions you want. We have the kits available for you to use if you would like to. You will be submitting the kits. You're not going to get those results today. We'll mail those kits off if you participate today. You will get those results in an email in a few weeks with instructions on if you choose to upload them to one of those law enforcement databases, instructions on how to do that. And if at that time you've forgotten the instructions or lost them, you will have access to us to do that. There's a lot of information out there about genetic genealogy. Not a lot of it is accurate or good. Use this opportunity and these resources to find out about it and participate. And thank you all so much for being here.